thank you guys for coming. We're going to go ahead and get started because I like punctuality and I'm already 3 minutes late. So, I'm Jene, for those of you that don't know me, and I think most of you do know me, and I appreciate you so much for coming out. I think this is exciting. We're starting a movement. We're going to bring a different face to Northwest Arkansas and to Rogers, to District 94, which covers, actually, we're not in District 94, but that's okay. We're just a block off. We can see it from here. Our district, if you aren't familiar, is the south end is New Hope, and it follows 2nd Street up to 102, goes all the way over to Walton, and then down, and it kind of makes a little jog as it follows Walton to 49, and back down to New Hope. So it's kind of the state of Nebraska. If you don't know geography, look it up. So, and we're talking about education today too, so we can really include that you need to know where Nebraska is. So again, I'm Jene Huffman. I have long roots in this area, and in fact at the Lane Hotel, my grandmother, who was a Grimes, grew up and graduated from Rogers, and she grew up in a very strict family where dancing was a sin, lying was a sin, and sneaking out was a sin. So she would do all three and go to the Lane and enjoy herself. And now my youngest daughter is at the Lane Hotel, which is now Haas Hall, and our architect, the architect of Haas, is here, and thank you for what you've done. So I tell Zoe if she feels the need to act out, it's her grandmother, and to resist it. Or great-grandmother. Her grandmother's right back there. But I am excited about running for this seat. It's a decision I did not take lightly. I have 3 daughters. My youngest is here. I have a husband who's an entrepreneur. I have a mother who's a retired educator. I have a father who is a pastor and a retired hospital administrator and was in mental health work. I've got a sister who was an international economist, a humanitarian, and is now disabled and terminally ill. And all of that weighs heavy on me. And when I don't see the representation of who I am within my community, I felt it was a mandate that I had to get involved. My dad used to tell me, you can vent once, and after you vented once, if you still got a problem with it, do something about it, change it. If you can't change it, get out of it. If you can't get out of it, get over it. And if you can't get over it, just shut up. And nobody else was stepping up to run. I've already vented, so now what do I do? Well, I couldn't get out of it. I'm not leaving this. This is my home. I am here. So I had to do something about it, so I stepped up to run. And I really love Northwest Arkansas. We moved here in '87 from Nebraska, western Nebraska, and decided that this was going to be my home. Moved away a couple of times, but the call kept bringing me back. I lived in Washington, D.C. and worked on the Hill. And for those of you that don't know, I was a Republican. And Zoe said, and Dad still married you? But the party left me. I was a centrist as a Republican and believed that all people deserve dignity and respect. And I wasn't seeing that. Things were changing and the environment is changing. And I could not run as a Republican because of what I felt my mandate was. Thank you. If someone is hungry, you feed them. If someone is thirsty, you give them water. If someone is naked, you clothe them. If someone is in prison, you visit them. If someone is an orphan or a widow, you take care of them. I had to do that, and that is why I'm running. So the 3 things that I'm really looking forward to when I go down to Little Rock in January, after the election, November 6th, which all of you guys are going to go out and vote, right? And if you're not registered, we've got voter registration here tonight too. I'm running on infrastructure. District 94 has 3 I-49 ingresses and egresses, and all 3 of those are going to undergo major changes over the next couple of years, and that affects Rogers dramatically. Walnut, which is right here, from 8th Street on down to Dixieland, really is going to be expanded to 5 lanes. That is going to cause a lot of change within our district as well. We need someone to champion that. I work for Rogers Water Utilities, and when you think of the amount of pipe that we have under these streets, some of which are 100 years old, and they're still carrying water and sewer, we have enough water and sewer pipe in Rogers alone to stretch from Rogers down to New Orleans. That costs money to maintain, and our water and sewer system is what separates us from a third world country. If we don't have clean water and adequate sanitation, we have dysentery, we have disease, and we can't have economic development. Which brings me to economic development. We are in a town, in an area that has an entrepreneurial vibe like no other place, in my opinion, in the world. I mean, who can look at a place that has 500,000 residents and has one top Fortune 1? I mean, it's its own economy sitting in this town right next door to us. We have Tyson Foods, which is in the Fortune 50, and we have J.B. Hunt, same thing. This is an anomaly, and they were started here. We've got to continue to foster that economic development and entrepreneurial vibe, and we need to broaden our horizons. We need to get off the back of those three and be able to sustain our economy without relying on others. And also education. We have to fully fund, not adequately fund, our educational system. Our public education system is the backbone of our society. If we don't have an educated populace, we can't have increased infrastructure and we can't have increased economic development. We have to take care of our children and we have to take care of our teachers. If we don't have good teachers, we don't have good education. And we have too many great teachers retiring. And we need to bring the idea that being a teacher is a noble profession, and we need to pay like it's a noble profession so that these young kids will say, I want to be a teacher and I want to change the world and I can still feed my family while I do it. So that's why I'm running. Those are the three things I'm running on, but I want to know you. I mean, I live in Rogers. This is my home. This is where I've raised my kids. And I want to continue to be a part of it. So as you hear of things that you think need addressing or you have ideas, let me know. I'm not going to Little Rock with an agenda. I don't have a bill burning in my back pocket. What I want to go down and do is fight for Northwest Arkansas, where the land of milk and honey and the rest of the state thinks that we are too, and they think that we don't need funding, but if you put a hole in the boat, it sinks. So Northwest Arkansas needs to continue to have champions that will keep this boat afloat so that we can help float the rest of the state. So I'm Jene Huffman-Gilreath, and I'm running for District 94 House, and I'd appreciate your vote. So thank you.